Are we dancing?
You're dancing.
Hey, we're dancing. We got a new.
Where's the big red light that says on air?
Right? Yeah, totally. You need to. Doesn't it look like the H2 is farther away than the 1740? Yeah?
It's because it's blue and not red.
Is that all?
It's the different waveforms. Like when you look at the
But I
Andromeda,
can't see the difference in the waveform from 6 feet away.
Really? Oh. It's depth. It's a depth perception thing.
It doesn't look like it's that much farther away to me.
Does it?
They look like they're the same size.
Yeah,
Weird.
look up the
right.
the whole.
I'm hallucinating. It's all good. I haven't even had a sip yet, but yeah.
You ever wonder why blue lights like hurt your eyes versus red?
I knew that.
Yeah,
Need your,
Ooh, that's
need your blue light
delicious.
glasses.
same thing.
Yeah. It's going to bug me. It literally looks like the 1741's kind of floating
Objects
at
moving
the
towards
edge.
you
Yeah.
versus away from you. So when you do that with the light,
Isn't that nice?
The clock is diagonal.
they both are. Yeah. You know, the blue will
Blue
always,
is farther away.
it will always appear to be farther away.
No, but in the clock, it's farther away.
Nope.
No, it's flat.
Pull it out of there for a second.
Look to the side.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Happy
if we
Friday,
take
guys.
that
Happy
apart-
Friday, Eric. Happy Friday, Orist.
Sorry, I'm
Jamie's a squirrel over here.
Charles and I are squirreling. He's illustrating the difference in wavelength of light that I'm seeing in front of me on this new clock that we got. That one, because I swear the H2 part. What is the H2? What is that?
That's just the program.
Okay, I'm like what is that even
Getting the
telling me?
behind the scenes
Yeah.
view here.
Right? From my vantage, it looks like the H2 is inset in the clock.
Yeah.
It's farther away than the red. And
Looking at it, the H2 is actually closer.
I love
Can
optical.
you change the
illusions.
colors on those?
Jamie's
Please.
tripping out.
Make it all purple. Haven't even had a sip yet. How is everyone's Friday? How are we this fine Friday afternoon, January 17th? My dad's birthday's here in 9 days.
Wasn't it
My
just
dad's
New-
birthday's in 13.
Is it?
Yep.
Wow. All right. Bunch of January babies.
Yep.
The
Mine
parents
was-
must have got it on in the summertime.
Mine was 20 days ago.
There you go.
Your birthday was more than
My
that.
dad's.
Oh, your dad's. Okay.
No.
I was like, yours is in August.
29th. July.
So we're
August, I think.
essentially riffing today. We don't have anything prepped. We don't have a whole lot. We did a couple things that we can talk about. Cobb released tuning for the 992 GT3, so that's exciting. We have a customer, and I'm going to point at you with a pencil today for some reason. You put the pencil down. We have a customer, Mr. Sean Burke, correct? Isn't that his last name? Burke? Think? No?
I'm failing at this one.
I think that's right. Local customer, Bainbridge Island, beautiful Guards Red 992 GT3. He is in later this month for the not yet released, but currently on our 992 3RS Lab Rat intake package for the 992.
Prototype.
Been on there pretty much since we got the car.
Yeah.
We're just going to take it to Road Atlanta and test it, and then it never came off. So. So he's coming, and we're going to make the 992 GT3 happy with it, because I'll let Charles explain what happened when we had that on the car the first time.
Yeah, we found out the fun way that the 992 GT3 doesn't like when you modify it. It's just like, hey, more air throttle.
Party's over.
Done.
Party's over. Yep.
Yeah, no, it
Literally, it's a reset the battery, run it once on the dyno, and it'll give you this beautiful number, and then you try and put another one, and it goes, oh shit, what just happened? No.
yeah, the fun part was on the one, I don't even know if I told you guys this, on the dyno 1 it's going, messing with the tune, it's up 20 something horsepower.
Yep.
At about 7,500, it just closed the throttle plate all the way. And when you do that on a Dynapack, it just turns off. So
Yeah.
the car's beep.
You're like, but
And when that happens, it's like the whole car just shudders, like you got
Yeah, that's
rear-ended.
kind of scary on a dyno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and when the, and you got to think at this point, the hydraulic pressure is like 1,800 PSI.
yeah, and it just goes pop.
And so at that point, it's still locked in gear. The hydraulic's locked. So when you go to start it, it's just click, click, click.
Because it's
click.
still in
Yeah,
gear.
because it's still in gear.
And the
and it
hydraulic
won't-
pressures, it
Still
won't just
pressing on the axles,
So
yeah.
engine won't turn over, and you're like,
What did we
did I
break?
just break this?
Yeah, did I just put a...
It's Friday at 2. It's time to go
I'm
home.
going to go home. We'll deal with this on Monday morning.
Maybe it'll bleed off over.
This is a Monday morning problem, not a Friday afternoon
yes.
problem.
So now it's
And no, Sean, that will not happen to your car. We know it's going to be fine. Just don't.
Oh wait, are we live?
Yeah, we are good. Did I say that for thousands of people? Oh shit. Yes. So
Things we learn by trying.
the cool thing is Cobb is actually going to come up and join us, which will be really nice because often when we do the things that we do with cars, the available maps in the available tuning packages are not adequate for how much we do with the cars. So having both the reverse engineer for Cobb to go and find more maps, which inevitably he will be busy, as Charles is like, but wait, there's another
Wait,
one.
we need-
Off you go.
I need this.
Go do that. And Tim, who's their, what's Tim's title? He's like lead guru calibrator for
Yeah.
Cobb, right? He tunes everything. So having him, because the important part with, let me back up. The challenging part with tuning a car that you didn't create the software for yourself is figuring out what the methodologies are that the original software creators, developers are using to control the vehicle, and what other things though that are branching off that have tendrils out into the world or into the car that you're having to affect. Kind of, it's like trying to sort spaghetti. You literally pull one strand and the whole strand of spaghetti moves with it. You're
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
It's so commonly thought of that it's your old school fuel map, ignition map,
Right.
idle map, boost map. Ooh,
That's it. You
Count
got
it up,
5
turbo.
maps. That's
And
it.
now most of it is all. There's what in the 992 one, because when I looked at it earlier,
Mm-hmm.
there's really to control fuel that actually control fueling. There's about 8 or 12 total maps.
Yeah, like probably a dozen.
About 6 or 7 ignition related. There's not control, and then there's about 400 torque control strategy maps.
Right.
So how do you control torque at idle, return to idle, full throttle? In this case, like we're talking about the pressure.
Gear shift.
Hey, we're all at
Right.
ambient pressure,
Yeah,
1,000
yeah, yeah.
millibar, whatever. We're going to give you 96% power
Right.
maximum, not 100.
Not 100.
Yeah.
It's like,
and then
why?
low
And
bearing.
that was just one torque map that we found.
Yeah.
So, and there are probably many others. Probably in
There's a slew.
the guys at Cobb found that one, and it's probably the master, the biggest one, the one that has the most.
Oh, that one's not even that.
You don't think so? That's just the indicator.
That's
That's
just one.
the road sign telling you get off here.
If all points lead to this, we're just going to say, no, you don't get that much power. How
Yeah.
about this instead? And then there's the airflow one versus throttle plate angle versus it's like 4 or 5. What's the other one? It's the same as the others, but since it's the ITB car,
Right.
it's different. 'Cause
Ah,
they've got an
sure.
extra set
Yeah.
for the main single throttle plate for airflow
then the
calibration,
ITBs, right.
then the actual throttles and the pressure drop through.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, more crap to deal with. But,
Yeah.
So hopefully that's released.
It's like
Yeah. So
looking at the haystack and trying to figure out which needles actually make a difference.
Which piece of hay fell first?
yeah, yeah.
Haystack
exactly.
Jenga.
Right. The nice thing is the 992 GT3, the GT4 RS, the 992 GT3 RS all run with the same ECU. The 992 3RS has an added layer of fuck you to it, which is hardware encryption. So that may pose some challenges. I know there's a couple folks in Germany that have gotten around that already. And it's literally desolder a chip and solder a new chip in its place.
Which
That's how they get around it.
Cobb already has to do that with some Fords and some other stuff. So
Oh, okay.
they're already like, yeah, we
used
already
to
know
it.
what to do. We're just not there yet. But
Okay, that's good to hear.
I think they're more just concerned if others are willing to do that.
Sure. I would say that's probably not immediately, but given enough time, yeah. We would, but
Yeah, they were telling me one of the
We're
GT2 RSs they got Like they didn't have the car, customer bought the car, and then just said, here you go,
Do something.
just figure it all out.
Make it go. Right.
Void warranty now. Thank you, bye.
Okay. Thank you. See what else has happened this week. We borrowed John McClellan's GT4 RS because that's how this story went. This was a year ago about this time.
Yeah. Last January.
We had finished up. Yeah, there it is. We had finished up dev on it, got all his bits on it. We were going to get the car back to get final measurements on everything. Then he got in an accident. Car went to the body shop because he was trying to get it ready to go to Smokies. Car stayed in the body shop. We never saw the car. We never got to take final measurements on some things that we were interested to get. So we were kind of left with recollections and hope that we had it all dialed. We had it 90%. But when you're trying to fit a 325 wide tire in the back of a car that was made for a 295, you needed a little bit more certainty. Now, we knew it worked because John's been running those wheels and tires for a year.
Yeah.
So,
And multiple different tires. So
Right,
It's
right.
clear that
We're like,
they,
it
the
works.
package was good.
But we had a customer, a shop, very patient shop, and kudos to them. Corsa Crew, shout out to those guys in
Alabama.
Thank you. Keep wanting to say Tennessee, not Tennessee. For a customer of ours who purchased a full lab rat package over the holidays when we had them on sale. And this pencil is just wants to jump back in my hand. It's crazy. I need to get rid of this thing. It's got a little fidget spinner over here. But they're struggling with the interaction and the spacing between the coil springs and the tire. And what we found out at somewhere along the way, the springs that we were putting in the rear of the car grew by, we'll say 25 millimeters. They're slightly longer, the next size up from what they should have been. Relatively easy fix. They've got the new springs. We changed it in our internal manuals.
here.
Ted was nice to bring the car down.
John was nice enough to let us borrow it.
John
so
was
thank
nice
you,
enough
John.
to let us borrow it. Oh, and John, your car needs an alignment and it needs a bunch of suspension parts. Ted will
Talk about that.
Your Porsche will be so happy very soon.
Yeah.
As Larry is chuckling in the background, he's like, Jamie already wrote up the invoice and sent it. I'm sure of it.
Ding! Email notification.
Casino.
So that'll be good to put that in a box. While we were here, Ted took a bunch of notes on all the alignments on all the cars so that when somebody calls after buying our suspension setup packages, we have all the answers and we can leave Charles alone.
You know, at some point they're going to ask how many degrees do they rotate the eccentric.
Yeah.
Just keep spinning it.
Yeah, keep going until it's done, until it's tight.
6 turns all the way.
keep spinning the eccentric until it's tight. So that was good to have.
It's good to confirm that you have the final answer after you've done all of them.
Well, when it works for us and it doesn't work for somebody else, it's like, okay, did we get lucky? Do we make it work? Or are they just having issues that they shouldn't? Or
Right.
Or our note's bad, right?
all the above.
So we took a lot of very specific notes, so nothing's left to interpretation or chance. Yeah, yours was a different issue though, Larry. It wasn't. I don't think you've got our wheel package on the back of your car.
Yeah, it was front axle lift cup height issues and
Is what Larry's
yeah.
what Larry's
Yeah.
Larry's was.
That's
Yes.
all solved. though.
Yeah, so that's all solved. The driving a K truck and listening to
Yes.
Whiskey Friday. This is living.
do you have the dog in the passenger seat, Simon?
That's
or dog
yeah, right. And congratulations to our good friend Simon. He is now congratulations or condolence. I'm not sure which. He is now the sole owner of Driver's Choice. I don't know the surroundings or the particulars about, but typically when a partner wants to divest and another partner wants to help them divest, it is amicable because it
that's
doesn't
what I heard.
typically to do it another way doesn't happen as quickly.
It's not usually as public.
not typically as public. Absolutely.
That's more law firm donations.
100%. 100%.
Nice.
That's like getting a divorce
driving.
versus just leaving each other. Welcome Ed. Ed has he's driving. Nice. Ed has installed his street headers and time muffler.
And
So-
Ed is also a tertiary Dundon drug dealer for helping his friends get some Dundon parts. So
Oh, right on.
we helped him with Jeremy's MCS install.
Oh, right on.
Since
Okay.
Ed switched cars.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
That got
That's
to move
right.
to Jeremy, so we hustled to get the correct parts over there, and you're very welcome, Ed.
Oh, the
Thank you
lift,
for
the lift cup.
Yep.
Lift cup
Okay.
stuff. Yep.
lift cups and correct springs for the
Which
lift
I had
cup
to change the
application.
SKU numbers on those, by the way. They were duplicates of Top Hat SKU numbers. Somebody bought Top Hats, and I looked in Katana, and it was lift cups.
Yeah, they got overwritten at some
501-20001
point.
was already taken.
The lift cups have their own part number.
Right, but there were 2 parts with the same SKU number in Katana.
The lift cup's like 16 numbers long.
Then you need to go fix it.
I
Because
fixed
it's
it.
got a different number
I
now.
fixed it. It's
Jamie fixed it.
no, I looked it up. And literally, I was like looking in shop in Katana based off of Bruce Todd BRR Racing bought some Top Hats, and I was like, what the?
The lift cups,
These aren't lift.
they end in 0076 and 0086.
Not now.
So
the
that one-
pairs
that's
don't.
for whatever reason they got swapped.
I've
into
never did
Katana.
pairs.
Anyway,
Somebody did pairs.
I didn't do pairs.
All right. Well, somebody's getting an ass whooping.
I could do a pair.
Nice. Ted's customer service lap times are unbeatable. Love it. So anywho,
Do my
Jeremy got all set up, so his 992 GT3 is ready for Aero now,
Yep.
which would be fun. And
Be
MCS.
very interested. Ed, I think you should drive Jeremy's car once it's all squared away, because I would love to hear what you think. Because the most surprising thing about that MCS package on the 992 GT3 was the improvement in road manners and comfort that way.
Yeah.
And we were all just shocked because we went up on spring rates on that car and were surprised at how friendly it was. So I think you should get a drive or two in that thing and let me know what you think.
I'm sure he'll be willing to swap keys with you.
Maybe.
Also in news this week, are you up, producer man? There we go. So our development engineer in Croatia surprised me. We had been talking about, with all the effort that we took to create a CAD model of this car, and obviously the wing's broken. So
You know,
we'll-
from the right angle there, it actually doesn't look broken, but now it
Yeah.
does.
Had a little rough time in transit. From
transit,
where
yeah,
was
I can
printed.
put it about there. It just
Nope,
looks
nope,
crooked.
keep going the other way. A little more.
I'm glad to hear it, Ed.
Not so bad.
There we go. So we'll leave it there.
You got the cat's meow as far as exhaust. That is the have your cake and eat it too. Anyway, go ahead, Jamie.
So Jorge didn't let me know he was doing this, but we had been talking about making scale models based off of the CAD work that we had done. Because, spent $400,000 on a car, $70,000 on a scanner, 3 months to actually do the scanning and the CAD work. Let's make a toy.
Yeah.
So, most expensive toy ever. Opportunity cost huge. Actual cost not so much.
For 400 grand, you could buy a real one. For $1 million, you could buy.
You could make the toy.
models.
Yeah, an exact replica of your car. So it was painted to match, and this brought some the detail on it. And obviously, the wing is broken, so we're just going to set that down there. The level of detail, like the hood flaps are in there, like the
Wheels,
even the
split-
wheel.
the vents on the
it's
front.
the vents on the front. Like you can see the
think the
screw
caliper's
holding
in
the
there,
wheel
too.
on.
The center one.
Maybe that's what Porsche needs to do for their center lock. Just use a Phillips head screw.
Maybe we need to make a mini high torque gun.
Ah, I love it.
World's smallest violin, world's smallest high torque.
Love it.
So this is pretty cool.
That'd be $110,000.
We'll probably do something with this. We're not sure quite what yet. One thought was custom. We're going to make a lab rat version of this, but as the 4RS. Lab Rat with our wing on it and the splitter and some such and such. Maybe sell them, maybe give them away to guys who buy Lab Rat packages. Not
You
sure.
know, if we make smaller ones, there is a giant slot core table next door.
Ooh, we could make slot cars of our cars. There's also that toy wind tunnel.
Where's the fan?
Oh yeah, the scale wind
The
tunnel.
scale wind tunnel thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
with a little food scale to show you all the
Ooh,
downforce.
right? Nice. That would be hilarious. Put this little metal thing in there. Look, it's
We put our real cars in a real wind tunnel. And then
Exactly.
you just make it look like it's scale.
Yeah, yeah,
Ignore
yeah.
the Lego character standing next
yeah,
to it.
little Lego character.
Green you.
Green screen us in.
Ed is loving his titanium muffler with the loud inserts.
Where's the? Yeah, we don't have a dump button.
Where's the clicker?
Burp.
Beep 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 beep.
Not for children. Check that.
Yeah,
box.
that was all CD. The Zenvo style. Dun, dun. Charles was like, we could make this louder
And quieter.
and quieter. If we just don't let it do certain things, we can off you go. Nope, not yet. Don't have a full model for the 4RS, but we do have the full CAD for it.
Actually, I have so I have the CAD file, the scan file, all the parts that
Yep.
we make
Yep.
in one file.
In one
Then they
CAD
need
file,
to get put
right?
together.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's all the stock and our parts overlaid. But
So yeah, we'll once we figure out what we want to do with this, and it's not a distraction to Horbe actually making our products, which I suppose this could also be a product. Then we'll move forward. But this
buy
is
one of these for $100,000 and you'll get
you get all your lab
free
rat
car
parts
parts.
free. Yeah, I love it. How much is the model? Well, the model is $70,000, but it comes with all of these actual size parts as well.
What a deal.
And it comes custom painted. This one's got a really trick rear toe. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah. Adjustable rear toe.
Adjustable rear toe on that. That's the Dundon spec right there. A little bit of toe in for you in the rear.
It's called stagger in NASCAR speak.
Stagger.
Yeah, the center lock didn't fail.
That's true. The center lock didn't fail, but the wheel. This is actually the Ed special.
Yeah.
This is
You know,
the. I
Ed's
think
seen that movie before.
I think this wheel came from IPE. I'm not sure though. But is this magnesium?
No
3D printed magnesium?
No comment.
No comment. All right. See what happens? Bad news.
No.
Bad news.
Not ideal for toys or real cars.
Or real cars. This is bad. Don't let this happen to you. Make sure your center locks are fixed. Peter Trackcar, if he's watching, his car did actually finally get center locks from October 25th.
Whoa.
The dealer had it since October 25th.
I thought you were leading into his car had a failure. I'm like, ooh, this isn't good news.
No,
saying,
no.
I haven't
They
heard
were
of-
preventing a failure.
I haven't heard of a lot of failures. It seemed like they kind of nipped it in the bud pretty
Right.
quickly.
And scared us, and our friends in Tacoma never came by to give us the center locks that he said he might, which that's fine.
I still thought about ordering
Words are
some this year
Probably not a bad idea.
when they're back in stock.
Yeah. When's that going to be? Like November? November 2025. What else was going on this week? Obviously, the set's all redone. Thank you, Justin and Kirk.
Justin and Kirk combined on that one.
Kirk came by and he was like, "This just will not do. You guys
This will not stand.
You must what? They did? Oh no.
Oh, you want the ghost? Oh shit! A proud do not try.
Not ideal.
Oh my goodness.
Not an
yeah.
ideal scenario
Not
here.
ideal at all.
What was the purpose for taking the M plate off?
Oh,
When Ryan was here looking at the wing.
when Ryan was here looking at the wing, the internals, how to make it work, how to make everything actuate.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Notice that.
Yeah, that was just. Here's how they did it,
Further
and here's what we're
investigations.
here's why or whatever. But yeah,
What we might want to change. So yeah, the Ryan, when he came here, was concerned he was going to get sucked into some testing at Daytona for a team. And while he was here on the flight here, they called and said, "Hey, when can you show up?" So it's probably one of the reasons why we don't quite have a preliminary CFD analysis of the car
because the
stock.
Roar
quite yet.
started today.
Yes.
The Roar before the 24 is the test that they do at Daytona for IMSA. All my old racing homies are there.
An RS for ants.
I need that meme so bad.
What is this? RS for ants? Where's Philip? And we need the meme maestro.
Damn it.
And yeah, I always thought it was a little wild that they did a full-on test, but I guess that's a 24-hour race for the big boys. So it's just makes for a very
Run your
expensive
car for 24
and-
hours to find out if you can run it for 24 hours.
No, they give you a lot of testing for nighttime and qualifying, but it's a very expensive January for
I can
the race
imagine.
teams.
Yeah, I bet.
And then they have Sebring. I think Sebring's like the first week of March.
Right.
So it's like, here's 24 hours here, here's 12 hours here, and there's half your season race budget in 2 races. And
You're all done.
have a nice time.
Right. Right. Yeah, and they were starting to work on that in October. They didn't really
Yeah,
have a holiday.
they don't take a break.
Yeah, they don't take a break.
Yeah, reset and go.
Got a nice sit down lunch with Brian Cook. Did that yesterday. For those of you who don't know, Brian Cook is a successful local entrepreneur. He is now given his time to an AI startup as CEO. He's also an accomplished driver. He won the Ferrari Challenge Pro-Am class last year after coming in second or third.
Second year before.
Year before.
Yeah.
And he was telling me some stories. Like, I guess they got 5 laps in Imola. 5 laps of testing and then go. Kind of the same thing. Like,
Okay.
I guess he was telling me his car was so bent. He had not been to Indy before. And I guess at Indy in a 296 GT, GTB,
yep.
whatever it is.
Challenge.
Challenge. You'll have you driven Indy?
No, not in real life, but I know the way that the track's
So
laid out.
there's an area where you're coming up onto the banking and everybody's going through it flat. It's just flat.
yeah,
you
because you
transfer
go from
the
the
road
flat
course
up to the bank and
right.
boom.
Right. And he's like, "There's no fucking way I'm gonna die if I do that in my car. I'm literally gonna die."
Yeah, because the cars are so fast.
Right.
That you're going a lot quicker than you might think by the time you hit the transition.
I guess his car had been in enough scuffles with walls that
Happens.
it wasn't turning right anymore. Like they were
So he
saying
had
it
the
was
full-on stagger.
it wasn't 3 millimeters out in the right corner. It was 30 millimeters out in the right corner. Like they had patched it back together. Like the rear engine carrier had been re-welded from the holes that had from it taking a shunt and it wallowing out the bolt holes.
Oh my
bolt
gosh.
all this kind of shit. So the thing had been worked, just absolutely worked. He got in Roberto's car. Roberto's his teammate. He's also, I guess, team principal.
Right, he's like kind of the man at Ferrari of Seattle.
Yeah. So
his
Roberto's
family owns it.
his family owns, or he owns. I don't know the jurisdiction of all that, but he's affiliated with Ferrari of Seattle and the Ferrari of Seattle race team.
Correct.
And so even Brian's coach got into Brian's car and was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going flat through there either.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
I know Brian's coach from racing.
Yeah,
Mark,
yeah.
Mark Miller.
Yeah. And he got in Roberto's car and he just he got on the radio with Brian because Brian was out in his car. Just come in.
Get the backup car out.
Yeah,
this thing's done.
You need to drive Roberto's car. Just come in. You're going to drive this car. And he went out in Roberto's car and he went a second faster, just feeling it out.
Wow.
He was just like, oh. And now
That's what it's supposed to be like.
this is the fun thing. So I guess Roberto, this is also something interesting for us. I guess they've gotten it down so that their real times in the car and their sim times on the sim are within 500ths most of the time.
Wow.
I'm like, damn, okay. That would be good if you were that your sim was dialed to
Yeah.
the same extent that your car was working.
Yeah, I mean, normally in my experience, it's probably the differences in the models, but I think I usually find that I can go quicker on a sim than in real life.
Right.
It's like, oh, I just went out and I'll go get into somebody's version of a 992 GT3 RS and go run a 138 or
Right.
137 at the Ridge or at the version of the Ridge that we have. And there's
Yeah.
enough variance everywhere that
Yeah, you can.
It's like that's
you
not
can just
quite right.
push it into the wall and you're okay. So
Not a lot of consequence, right? You're like, oops, let go of the wheel, let it do
Click,
its thing.
click, reset.
Yep. Hey, I got a brand new car. Off we go.
respawn.
So,
There
Nice.
you go.
Essentially.
There you go, Simon. That one's for you. That's awesome.
so that was really cool. I was up there getting some CEO coaching, if you will. So asking him if what Dundon has done in the last 12 months and what we're planning to do, where are the blind spots that I haven't thought about, and a couple of the things that I was wanting to do, like for those of you who are entrepreneurs, business intelligence. Brian was like, don't do it. The rabbit hole. Everybody wants it. It's this panacea. It's this thing. You drive your business from this one pane of glass, as Brian said, and you're going to spend lots of hours, and lots of money, and lots of time, and you're still going to have to go search around for the actual.
Still not
fucking
gonna be
result.
right
It's
there.
Still not going to be the thing that you want.
Yeah.
I'm like,
String theory?
grr, kinda, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's still some things we're gonna try. When Alex watches this, he'll be like, "But you just sent me the codes to do this." But actually, I didn't. I didn't send shit. I gotta do something before the end of the evening.
Put that on your Trello.
Oops. Yeah, my Trello has been updated in a minute. But yeah, that was really cool to meet with Brian, to have some time with him. He does want to get together with the boys, so all the boys watching, local track homies. We'll see if we can't get that together.
He can come slum it with us for a day at a track day.
Right? Because he sold he traded his 3RS in on another race car
Yeah.
to replace his 30 millimeter bent race car.
Yeah.
Hopefully he
Seems
won't.
reasonable.
Also interesting is Roberto and Brian share data and tricks and track notes,
Yeah, and Roberto's quick too,
and they're competing against each other this year.
because Roberto was in the class above him previously.
Yeah, and now
okay.
Brian's moved up.
So is he a bit more close to the vest, or
see.
are they still?
Their first event's in
Okay.
Sonoma here in 4 weeks.
Okay.
Testing's in 4 weeks. And Brian did share that his ultimate goal is to get into the GT3.
Cool.
So I was
mean,
like,
a Ferrari Challenge car is probably way faster in a straight line than a GT3 car
okay.
because they're not restricted.
All right.
So I mean,
Right.
I remember when I was racing. This will date me a little bit, but they had the 458
Yeah.
Challenge cars, which the 458 stock has 660 horsepower
Yeah.
or something like that, naturally aspirated, something like that, or 500 and something. It's
500
a lot.
and something,
It's
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and they were doing over 200 miles an hour at Daytona on the road course in a Ferrari Challenge car, which is basically a 458 with a bolted-in cage.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
And-
street car.
and slicks.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's a street car with slicks
It's
and a
street-
cage.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
And shortly thereafter, Ferrari came out with the Evo package, which was a splitter and a wing to slow them down in a straight line.
Nice. They're like, you're all gonna die unless we give you a parachute.
option.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think he's going to get into a GT3 car, and they are phenomenal. They have so much traction because they've got way more downforce.
Yep.
They've got super trick, fancy sauce ABS and traction control.
Oh, we
You
were
know anyone
talking
that has
about
one?
a GT3 car?
Yeah, a cup that's all loaded up.
Yeah, that's all loaded up that he can come drive.
Maybe.
We were talking about the brakes in the challenge car because he was like, I was talking about Dirtfish and left foot braking,
Yeah.
experimenting with it and all this bit, and he's like, yeah, the brakes are still boosted in
Yep.
the challenge car, and they're electronically boosted,
Yeah, I've heard of that.
so they have a servo.
Yep.
And he's like, and you can freak it out, like if you smack it like you would a set of race brakes, the car just gets really fucking pissed and like all over the place.
Goes to ice mode, maybe.
Yeah. And I was like, and he actually alluded to the 992 3RS is also servo driven. It is not vacuum from the engine. And I was like, are you sure about that? He goes, yes, because it's the same as the Taycan and all the rest, because then it's ready for EV implementation
Yeah,
when they
it
get
might
ready to
be.
do it. And I was like, could explain why the boosted cars you've never had a problem with, and this one, even we kind of dialed it back with brake pads, we think.
Correct. Yeah.
But because reason I go into that is Ted was having a problem with ice mode in the 3RS when we changed the brake pads, and I wasn't. So interesting. Is it driver? Yeah, that was part of it. It was the brake pads.
No, this is still a vacuum booster.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Trust but verify.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, I got pictures of this.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think so, but okay. He was.
You know what? I bet a turbo is. And I bet the turbos
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
Carreras I bet are.
Yeah. And his
Because they're
Taycan is because it's
they're
EV.
definitely prepping those cars to go hybrid power.
Yeah,
for sure.
correct, yeah. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was like, no, I swear this is a
Right. So
booster.
yeah. Anyway, we got that all sorted. We got some different brake pads on the car that don't rise in friction coefficient with temperature, because very likely Ted had slightly warmer brake temperatures than I had potentially.
It might have been.
It could be couple seconds faster, a little deeper, a little more brakes, these kinds of things.
All the downforce in the car just makes you want to throw it in faster and
Right.
deeper and
faster and deeper.
commit.
That's what she said.
indeed. I was thinking it, wasn't saying it.
Yeah, you know.
Leave it to you.
Cheers. I get in trouble on the track chat for explaining the joke.
It's
We'll
a
let
new
Ted
thing.
talk about these.
It's a new thing. It's my little project. Switch the camera here.
Get my
Fancy.
Let me pick up the mess of my car and get it out of the way.
Get your toys off the
Antmobile.
round of your
The
house.
Antmobile.
This is a prototype, but we're having these made. So carbon plate frames with some Dundon goodness on there. And this is the first iteration. Not quite perfect. The outside and the finish look awesome. I want the tabs on the back. This one doesn't have the tabs on the back to retain the license plate. And it's a little bit too thick, but it's something we're going to make available for everybody once we get it all squared away.
Yeah. We'll include these. We'll have them for sale on the website. If you're a special customer, you can call and get one. And those of you who are special, like Simon, you know who you are. Simon's special for different reasons, though. We'll talk about that at Smokies here coming up in April.
You don't need to tell everybody what kind of underwear he wears.
You know, I'm just saying. He knows something about Ant-Man.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, so
There it is.
this will be good.
Yeah, it's been on the wish list for a long time, so it's finally just.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not an engineer or a manufacturing expert, but managed to trip and stumble my way through the process to find somebody to get
Oh,
these
he
made for us.
underestimates himself. Memories.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
100%, brother.
100% reminiscent. That is exactly what we've been fighting with on the 992 RS.
Yep.
Is getting the car to cooperate under heavy braking.
Yeah.
And making it so that I'm not like freaking out that the thing's gonna fly
If
off.
you
at
use
the end of the
less
track.
gas pedal, you don't need the brakes as much.
It's kind of like going fast around the racetrack is just use less brakes.
Yeah.
You know,
the brakes don't
They
freeze up
say
when you use
less
of
is
them.
more, but at a
Right?
certain point, more is more.
So do we just start triple,
Or more is
triple the
less.
downforce?
More is
Is less. More gas and more brakes equals less lap time.
Yes, because it makes more squirrely.
More energy transfer.
That's the problem.
Yes, brake lines. That's what we got to do. We don't
Yeah.
have the Manthe brake lines.
We don't. God damn it. We need to call Spiegler and get those exploding brake lines, because then there wouldn't be ice mode. We'd just relieve the pressure into the wheel well.
I've already done that. I do not wish to
You've
do
been
it
along.
again.
You've been along for the ride in that.
Do not wish to do that again. That's not a fun ride.
Mr. John Shevel. That is a name I have not met before. Welcome, friend.
Hello,
Yeah,
John.
you have.
I have.
Yeah, he's the guy I went to school with, UTI.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
I do not remember it. Maybe I had had too many of these by the time I didn't see it go
Possibly.
by. Welcome, John. So we are not going to see our 997 at Smokies this year. We are waiting for a revised circuit board from our good friends at Calibrated Performance that we will probably not see until the end of the quarter, which is fine. We have more than
I have
enough to do.
nothing else to do.
Yeah, we're just going to sit around doing this until that arrives, and then away we go. We do have some good news for those of you who do not have GT cars. We've been listening. We've been looking at the market, been listening to our friends in the market. Charles and Hodivier have been very busy over the holidays, drawing and catting and getting quotes from CNC factories and the rest, and we will have a full suite of 991 and 992 suspension arms available, I'd say probably end of February-ish.
For non-GT cars.
For non-GT cars. Carreras, Carrera 2s, turbos, Carrera 4s, and the like. 996 and 997 will follow after those. Those got started a little bit later. They may catch up. Maybe available
They're
at the same time.
half of them are interchangeable.
All right.
Macan GTS.
Con GTS exhaust. Yes, it's called a Sawzall, Ed.
Yeah, I was like, Sawzall, brother.
Meow.
Just cut it off somewhere in front of the wheel well.
Ed, your first question. I believe there were some prototype parts that came in from PFC. I have not heard a report back from the people that received those parts. I will tell you, after driving John's 4RS down from Woodinville, that they would be greatly appreciated because the pad rattle is real.
Yeah.
Those, they drive awesome, but the zero drag technology is
Good for race cars.
a lot of vibration sound technology. So
But
we're
what's
working on
nice
to have your
is
cake and eat it too.
Doug has those parts.
Correct. No, I know. Yeah, I just haven't heard from him.
Sadly, I should ask. I should write to current GT4 RS Lab Rat owner that has it for sale and see if I can get those parts back.
Bill,
Bill, yeah. You're like, hey, can I have those back? Because they are prototypes.
are they on the car or did you
Right.
do something with them?
So,
we're working on it.
according to PFC, it does solve the problem. Both, and there were two problems. One was pad rattle, which Charles looked at the springs and he's like, "Yep, that would solve it. That does it." And the other was rotor rattle. And they
The
sold,
rotors are freewheeling too,
Yeah.
more or less.
yeah,
Yeah.
because of the big C clip that they have to hold,
because it's not
hold the
bolts.
disc on. It's not bolts.
Yeah.
It'll allow it to. It'll essentially, it's when it gets stuck, it starts to rattle. When brake dust gets in there and doesn't allow it to free float anymore. So you got to pin it so that it always stays that way. Was how James Warner explained it to me.
Yeah.
Because when I started talking about rattle, he thought it was rotor rattle because he'd heard of that one before. I'm like, no, this was pad rattle because I just had to put the tiniest breath
Yeah, you
on
touch
the
your
brake.
big toe on it and
And it's
silent.
like all gone.
Yeah.
But when it's not, it literally sounds like the back of the car or the front of the car is trying to fall apart.
Yeah, I thought the top mounts were like all wallered out.
Yeah. It's
Like, it sounded like a dead
you're
animal.
like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just left foot brake.
Yeah. Just drag the brakes a little bit.
I'm gonna get some like 6 bags of Big League Chew. I'm gonna
Nice.
chew it all up, and we're just gonna wad it and just shove it in there.
Shove it in there.
Then go drive the car with some audio.
Cook it on there real good.
Yeah.
Muhammad, I had
it.
the same thing happen with the Spiegler lines, except it was at about 125 miles an hour as I applied the brakes. So lucky for you, it was on the rack.
Yes, that's why I still do not understand how a large modifier of GT cars in Germany, the first thing they want to do is change the completely more than adequate brake lines included on Porsche's race cars that are also on Porsche's street cars and change them to an aftermarket part.
Yeah.
If they were deficient, they probably wouldn't come on a Cup car. At least that's my thought, right? Because everything else is pretty well done on the Cup cars. So
John, I think that's what we got from PFC with those
That's
prototype. It's like an anti-knockback spring, but it's more like it just holds it at the top so that it doesn't rattle around.
yeah, because it was an in and out and kind of a trapezoidal rattle more so than a towards the
knockback
rotor.
situation.
Not really a knockback situation. It was riding around inside the caliper, just getting a good
all the
resonance.
slots on the rotors rotating, pick up the pad from one end.
Yeah.
Slot
Kind of
rotates.
dropped it back
Ta-ting.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. So anyway, good news for PFC guys. We're going to get a kit for our 3RS. I've just been reluctant to pull that trigger because the tire situation on the car is still kind of a question mark. We can put PFCs on it and run the stock wheels, which is fine. This is what Ed's facing a bit. The stock wheels are great. Can you run wider front tires? There's a customer asking us, well, if I do this, can I run 285s? Or put our inner
I know what to do.
upper right. So we know
haven't
what to
tried it
do.
yet.
We haven't done it yet, and he wants to do it on 20s. And I was like, where are you finding a 20-inch 285
Yeah, I've already-
30 front?
I've already found them available, but
Are they?
yeah,
Well, yeah, the sticky ones, but
yeah, Trofeo R's.
yeah. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, that's the trick. Is I'm sure that the market is large enough to support a manufacturer producing the tires in those sizes.
Yes.
It just hasn't happened yet because
And-
I mean it's a huge freaking tire. It's a
and-
275 on a 20 and a 335 on a 21. That's a giant freaking tire.
And as common as in our little segment of the automotive world a 9923 RS is, it is an incredibly uncommon car out in the populace for a tire manufacturer.
The only car that has a comparable tire size is a Viper,
right.
and they don't make Vipers anymore.
And I don't think
No,
they're 21s, are they?
one of the new Lamborghinis. Whatever.
Oh, is it the Revulito or
something like that.
Revuelto.
Whatever their
Revuelto?
$4 million
Hy- hybrid.
I hear
V12.
revolting.
That's what
from
those
Revuelto,
tires
but-
came off of. That's why that front is this size, but it's actually physically this size because it's a front
Oh.
tire, not a rear
The
tire.
number
right.
says one
number
thing.
says this.
The actual measurements are
That's
different.
why I was like, this one will fit.
That's a fun lesson.
yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, I bought the right tires.
No, you didn't.
These
So
they're
they
half an inch taller. But yeah, but the number's the same.
So
Right,
with
but
the
they're not
suspension
same.
parts, that tire on the stock front wheel
Yep.
will fit with the MCS. It won't fit with the stock suspension. It will hit.
That's convenient. Yet another reason. Darn it.
Darn.
Sorry, all you stock bros. So anyway, that's the next thing that we're gonna do is we've got some testing to do on the 3RS once we finally get it back together from being apart for pretty much
Being a
since
lab rat.
November, being a lab rat, yeah. We need to test our bump springs versus bump rubbers in the rear. We had some self-clearancing when the car was completely stock. And then we had some more self-clearancing when we did some MCS on it because Ted can make the car lean over quite a bit.
Yeah.
Take some G's.
I was really shocked. Like we left the spring rates more or less the same, plus or minus,
10 pounds.
a percentage
Yep.
point. And just the change to the shock, we were getting much higher G loads.
Yeah.
And just improving the envelope. We always talk about it, but we're changing the spring rates and we're changing the alignment. But when you put the really good shocks on a really good
What
car,
was the 4RS getting lateral G loads?
Oh, I don't remember.
Wasn't in the twos though, was it?
yeah, we were over 2 degrees or 2 G's lateral
In the 4RS.
in the GT3 RS.
yeah, and it's in the 3RS.
On stock
for sure.
tires.
Yeah.
Stock tire, right? It's not just bolting a set of slicks on it.
Right.
It's a stock tire.
Yeah, I swear
Stock
one of
tires.
them, like the last record in it was like 2.19 or something.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be because Ted was only, 3 or 4 tenths off between as fast as you went in the 4RS Lab Rat versus where the 3RS is now? You go 140?
Yeah, I did a 39.8 in the 992 RS,
Yeah.
and then I did a 40.1. So 0.2 of a second.
In the 4RS?
In the GT4 RS lap.
Well, that could, yeah,
with
that's
the skinny rear tires.
Yeah, with the skinny rear 3Rs. So
Yeah.
we got to give the 3Rs a
Yeah.
little bit of credit
Yeah,
to
for
that.
sure, for
Because they're probably a little stickier. But what's funny, they're both Goodyear tires. The 3Rs on the 4RS and the Super Sport Rs were running on the 3R.
Super Sport
Yes.
R's are claimed to be 80. Which is
Right?
Interesting.
And the 3Rs are claimed to be 200.
No, they're 100.
100, okay. I thought they were 200.
The regular ones.
They're like super
the non-
cheap.
And they're both pretty good.
Yeah,
I've
they're
had
both
good experience with both
agreed.
tires.
Agreed. Both very good. So, you want to test the bump springs? Nice. You
No
need,
more bikes. You need to run with a giant
need
motorcycle airbag.
Yeah,
on
you
the
need
hood
a
of
deer
your car.
bumper.
No, he
Giant
needs,
deer bumper, like from a semi on the front of your next car.
no, he
You're
needs
gonna
the
do this
DOT
buggy.
trucks that
Yeah.
have all the bags of
Yeah,
stuff
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
back.
the
padding.
dong, dong,
Yeah,
dong,
there
dong,
you
and
dong.
the arrow.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just need to drive
Yeah.
with those on it.
For those of you who don't get the joke, Justin came around a corner on his side of the road at the Smokies and collected a Harley Davidson or a Goldwing or whatever the fuck it was all the way to his windshield.
It was like a BMW GS.
Tried to cut him in
big
half.
bike,
Right?
Right in the wrong
Cheated.
lane.
Yeah.
Larry, are you suggesting that the size on the R7s, would you say the R7s are larger, or do the track attacks run larger than the R7s?
I do remember that there are definitely some cheater sizes in the R7
yes,
lineup,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
285 measures as a 305.
Right. Yeah, like the 991 guys who run 19s, and they run what do they run? A 275, 345, 295 front, 345 rear on a 19-inch wheel on the 991 3RS.
Ah, 3RS, yeah.
Yeah, so that means those ones probably run narrow then.
Yeah, they run a little narrow.
Correct. Exactly. But they get to say they run 345s.
Right.
Yeah, because PJ had 255s on the front of his, and that took a lot of work to get those to clear. But
Yeah.
they were probably 265 plus.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that was stock, like stock fenders, right?
Yeah, like
On a
not,
991 RS or 997
no,
RS.
that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't have big old fenders.
Yeah, that was a bit of work, but someone else had like 275 something fronts, and I'm like pizza cutter.
Yeah.
You can,
Yeah.
you can do
Stance boy,
that, but
stance boy alignment.
Yeah, because he had a set of 245s he got for free, and they were like an inch narrower than the 255s.
right.
Yeah.
It's the funny thing with tires, is the DOT tread wear is something that the manufacturer of the tire slaps on there. There's no actual test and/or standard
Yeah,
by
there's no
which
standard
they put
that
on
they
there.
have to hit. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
there is. Have you ever read it?
No.
You have to basically put tires on the car, drive it a certain amount, track your mileage, come back and measure the tread wear on it, and then you dictate, okay, this wore this. You get to the manufacturer
Right.
dictate, okay, we only wore this much tread off. This tire should last this long, so it gets this rating mathematically.
Sure.
So if you take a R-Comp tire and you go do 150 miles an hour for 3 hours, you might burn all the tread off because of all the heat from it, right?
Right.
But if you just drive it 30 miles an hour everywhere, it might not ever wear and get warm.
Right.
Right.
So that's how they get away with, well, we did this and we came up
We
with
put
this
these many
number,
miles on it.
200 tread wear.
Right.
So, but that's not the way
always
that
in
they
air
intended
quotes.
to do it. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's kind of like the octane rule, the R+M/2 thing. It's all predicated off of tests from like 1903.
Oh boy.
Like,
yeah.
still to this day, that's what they
Where they
run.
couldn't really measure it accurately.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Research octane number versus motor octane number, and how they do the test is kind of doesn't relate to anything this day,
Right.
but it's still what they'd use because
Yep.
it works. Why change it?
Other kind of development news is Charles has been looking through the maps. This is for you 991.1 bros. On the 991.1 GT3, and there's some very specific maps that we've been asking Cobb to open up. And Charles and the folks at Cobb have identified the maps, and Charles has been looking at them, and does, with these maps, these very specific maps open, which I'm not going to share what maps they are, it should enable, without a lot of fuss, the installation of a 991.2 GT3 engine into a 991.1 GT3. And we were just discussing this afternoon that, hey, well, we just happen to have one on the shelf.
It just
We happen to have a
it fell- it
991.1
just fell out of the
GT3.
We
truck.
happen to have a
Happen to have a
991.
991.2 engine on the shelf.
While we're taking the engine out to do a bunch of shenanigans to show everyone how the finger followers go and to take some of the pressure of getting that car back on the road, we can just shove a 991.2 GT3 engine in there in the meantime. So, and do some of that work, kill two
Something.
birds with one stone.
Those maps, right, Charles?
What?
Exactly.
That's one of them.
That's one of them. Don't take this bridge.
Well, where's the Philly SpongeBob meme?
Yeah,
We
exactly.
haven't had one of those in a while.
So that will be fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
the-
We did. We're gonna have Cobb up here in a couple weeks.
Yeah. And we already have the adapters for that. So when we get done with that, we can sell those. 'Cause
Yes.
The adapter is slightly different from a 991.
Yes.
So
So that we can test our intake for the 992 GT3 along with a Cobb tune and all of our parts. To put this in context, one of my favorite local cars, and sorry, Doug, I love your car too, and all of your big fat front tires.
Biggest ever.
Biggest
size?
ever.
What
Biggest
size?
ever.
285s.
285s.
are you sure?
What size is that? 285, bitch. 285. Put right around it. Gotcha.
He should
You know
get
what?
a tattoo of
Yeah, it's a
285 on his arm.
285 on his arm.
Get the tire right around.
What size is that? 285. All of it? All of it.
All of it. Yes.
So it's our friend Eric Bond. He has a 991.2
Very
GT3
different
manual.
build. Very different purpose.
Very different purpose. So Eric's is a street car, and it is Eric can't help himself, and I appreciate that about him because I come from that same tribe.
Really?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That you just keep modifying it. I can make it better. I can make it better. I can make it better. And his car is pretty fucking badass. It's a manual 991.2 GT3.
Paint to sample.
Paint sample.
Is it?
Silver.
I have a picture of it. I'm gonna try to find
something. I don't know.
I'm working on it.
Oh wait, is that the Polar Silver?
It's not polar.
No,
but
it's
kind of
something
like
that's
that.
Thetis or something Thetis.
Arthritis.
Yeah, silver arthritis. That was a PTS. That had to be it.
Like an anthracite color or something.
Anyway,
I don't know.
No,
so
it's-
he's
it's
got.
a simpler, it's a simpler one. It's like blue, silver, metallic, or something like that.
He's
It's
yeah,
a silly name, but it's a
probably.
cool color.
He's got MCS on it. That
Yeah,
one.
that
That's
one.
it. Yep.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful white gold wheels. Very classy. It's got our full titanium muffler, street headers, intake, and tune on it. And Charles got to tune this one in real life on our dyno, and this thing fucking hauls the mail.
It is a beast.
So fucking fun to drive. Oh my god.
High watermark for a 991 street car dyno.
So this car stock is 445, right, Charles?
Yeah.
And when it was done, it was like 502.
502.
Yeah.
Peak.
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 Yeah, like not cheater, but like peak, like fucking fuck. Just so fast. And he's getting, we're going to do an ST package for his car. So Charles has been working with the boys at ASCO to get little itty bitty flywheel and a little itty bitty clutch package
There should be one without the
middle bit.
middle bit.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
That's it. Yep. There you go. So that'll even make it even zippier underfoot. Just zip, zip, zip.
And a good diff from NPR.
And a good diff.
Those are on the way.
Yep.
Probably March.
Yep. So
Should have the
Speaking
twin
of
disc one there
this
too.
driveline, and if anybody has a line on a 997.1 Carrera or Carrera S with a blown up engine,
Justin.
let me know.
yeah.
I have a wish list for a project car.
Yes, sir. We're Ted's gonna get his first Porsche, and it's gonna, as soon as it can, go under the knife and end up something similar to Eric Bond's car,
Yeah, just a little smaller.
just with a smaller package.
And with the back seat.
yeah.
Be perfect.
MCS
Make the
and
boys giggle.
all the dude.
I mean, they've already ridden in my dad's Turbo S.
You're
which is
going
pretty
to end
crazy.
up with some karting children here very quickly. You're going to become one of those race dad coaches.
997.1 Carrera S, manual, blown up engine, no convertibles, please. Mm-hmm. Let me know.
Yeah, let him know. Anybody who's searching, the guy you need to hit up is Mark on the Track Chat. His hobby is searching for cars. You give him a list,
Oh, yeah.
he'll go find it.
All right.
Oh,
He'll go find it. So,
Bore score and 7 years ago.
bore score.
Like send us the VIN, like you cut it out of the car, send us the VIN,
You're gonna-
or
It-
He's a little pink for you right now.
like, oh shit. So yeah, lots of fun stuff going on. Lots of always cool projects going on over here. Sometimes they get completed. Most of the time they're like boomerangs, and they leave and they come back, and they leave and they come back, because they just love coming back. We're so fun.
We have a magnetic.
I would make the joke
situation.
of why don't they just stay, but
Well, yeah, because Jamie would be bankrupt at that point. So
we have too many others that
I don't
just stay.
like. I like money. I like money. I like keeping money. So, anybody got some questions for us before we wrap this up and I go get some food for the evening? Let this fine gentleman from the north head back to South Canada.
Southern Canada, indeed.
Yeah.
guy who never.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's exactly what I want, Eric.
Yeah.
You got it, 100%.
Well, you get it cheap.
Just get a cab and just make it like one of those Strosek convertible speedster things that didn't have a top. You can put
Yeah,
on
just
it all.
the speedster back.
Because you know you can use that in Washington
Yeah,
State real
super drivable.
often.
Often.
Yeah.
Just put Rain-X
I'll
on
put
the
holes
interior.
in the tonneau cover for the kids.
Yeah, I love it. You just put their heads out. Little rubber grommets around their head.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
I gotta shout out to Charlie real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Forget.
Yeah.
Pretty cool thing happened to her last week. She got nominated, and not nominated. She got an award for Auburn School District Student of the Month
Wow.
For the whole district.
for the whole district.
Yeah.
awesome.
Auburn School District is very large.
Yeah. So
How many students in Auburn School District?
when I checked, it was like 18 or 20,000, but I feel like
Right.
maybe it's more.
I think it's
don't
more
know.
than that.
It's got to be.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
3
yeah.
high schools now and
Yeah,
some
there
other
was
stuff. And
the high school when I was a kid was 6,000 students, and it was one school.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was 35 years ago.
yeah, so they it's up there.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
yeah, I had to actually explain it to her a bit, like how she was like, "Oh, hey, cool, another award." Well, she's had a lot of
Student of the month for
student of the month for the school,
and-
so
yeah.
she's just like, "Oh, another one, tossed in the pile." Okay.
Right. Yeah, whatever.
whatever. I'm like-
This is normal. Everybody gets these, right?
So I had to explain it to her, like, okay, in your lifetime, 96 months of school, basically,
Yep.
you got one of those, and the amount of kids you're going to go through, did some math, there's like, you're probably talking about 150, 250,000 students.
Yep.
Only 96 of those are going to get this award, and you got one of them. You'll probably never run into another kid that actually got this.
Yep.
So
kinda
after a
cool.
bit, and she was
It's
kind
kind
of
of cool.
like, okay, so
Yeah, 'cause
give her some
how old-
scale.
How
Yeah.
old's Charlie?
11.
She's 11.
11.
And Charlie was on here
Couple months
summertime,
ago.
right?
Yeah,
Couple months ago.
sometime. Yeah, summer, yeah. August.
She didn't tell her parents that she was going to run for student body, and she's the student body president.
Vice president, but yeah.
Vice president.
Her friend's president.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't tell him, just ran, won. Very, very well spoken, very mature little
Precocious.
girl, very smart. Always wanted to be on YouTube, so she was super excited to come on Whiskey Friday. I was like, I don't know if this is appropriate for an 11-year-old, but we can
censor ourselves.
We can PG-13 it for this Friday. We'll be good. She can rise to the occasion. She was great. She's great. We'd have her back in a heartbeat.
She'll be back. She knows.
Yeah.
Well, she
Welcome
didn't-
anytime.
She didn't ask me if she could come back on. She says, "Hey, when it's this, I'll go back on." Like,
go back on.
like she'll allow us to.
Yeah,
have her.
she'll allow us
She'll
to have
grace us
some
with her presence.
Yeah.
That seems appropriate. It's going to be the next
Yeah.
president of the United States.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
you all have a wonderful weekend. Those of you who are at Das Renntreffen, go check out
we're
Buddies. Yes, we are jealous. We were hoping to go this year, but couldn't make it. Go check out our buddies at
Umlaut air cooled.
Umlaut Air Cooled. Sean Grower, they're doing Chris Olsen's car's debut, Project Crystal. It is
Freaking sweet.
it Miami?
I think it's crystal blue.
It's Crystal.
That's
Oh,
why-
that's right.
that's why
Crystal
it's named
Blue.
Crystal,
That's why it's
yep.
called Crystal. Yes, Crystal Blue. It is. It's a tour de force as far as a air cooled hot rod.
It's a badass air cooled hot rod.
3.5
RSR
liter.
style body, 3.5 liter Roth Sport motor.
Yep.
But the interior is
Oh, dude,
leather wrapped
the details
everything.
are,
It's so sweet.
They're very nice.
Something considerably rare, considering Cobb said, "Okay, they never thought that day would ever come."
Yep.
Do any of them know that somebody modified a 911R?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That's
That's
fair.
fun.
So we have a customer. Some of you might be around long enough to remember the Touring Frog. The Touring Frog was a 991.2 Viper Green touring manual. It was owned by a gentleman in the South Florida area. Some of you guys in South Florida might remember who he is. He recently procured a 911R and immediately called us. He bought the car from Merit Partners, went and picked it up. It is silver with black stripes.
Oh,
if
cool.
memory serves.
Yeah, that's not a common one.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. He immediately gave me his Cup Car VIN number so that he could get a Cup Car exhaust, and I don't know how, but somehow it ended up on his 911R. So as long as you have a VIN number, I can sell you kind of non-DOT regulated parts. But if you don't, then you don't.
He was just trying to break the metal in before he put it on the cup car.
Exactly. He's just trying to get it warm, get it ready
Get it
for
heat
Cup Car.
cycled.
So he got that all installed on his 911R, and he wrote back and he's like, "Holy shit, holy shit!"
Inco muffler.
And an Inco muffler, right? Because
and
for his Cup Car.
power
And the
kit,
intake
the whole
kit
deal.
Yep.
with a tune.
Yep. And he's getting a tune.
Which, that was the fun part, because it's like, hey, we know this is a 991, but what the fuck is it?
Yeah, Cobb didn't know what ROM this went to.
They have a pile of them, and then they're like, oh, that's what this is. Oh, cool.
Like,
Okay.
oh, you mean this one of 500 cars or however many 911
yeah,
cars
then I
they
get a
made?
text message from Grant. Wait, you have a customer who's putting
Modified a
Cobb on
911R?
911R? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, dude, that guy's nuts. Give him a high five.
Right? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's I mean,
That's Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus asked. I was like,
full
get all
power
this
kit.
stuff and car's going to rip. He's like, let's do it. So,
Yeah, and it's
And
the
it
full,
does.
which I did finish. I got to tweak a couple things in his file, but yeah,
Right.
I changed it so it's the valves are open and then you hit the button to close them.
Nice,
So that way
nice.
he's like, cold start when it's loud. He's like, I don't want it to go brrr, and like.
yeah, I
quiet.
just wanted to
He's
stay
like, no, just-
and stay,
Yeah.
right? That car will also be at DRT this weekend, so check him out. I guess because it's a 911R, he didn't even know. He like rolled it, hey, can I come? They're like, ooh, you get a VIP badge.
yeah.
You can come over here.
Check, you're in the cool kid
You're like,
club.
cool. Do.
Yeah, he's like, I should have bought this sooner.
Right? He's
Yeah.
like, dang it. I get to be on the inside of the. He was telling me when he used to go to the Cars and Coffee down there in 2018, 2019, it was like 40, 50 cars.
At,
Now-
at DRT?
Yeah. Now it's 500.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like, holy moly, things have changed.
Oh, Paul.
Hey, Paul, we're getting your model ready. We gotta
literally just talking about
delete
that.
the wind deflector and one
Canard.
canard and rub it with tire marks and dirt before we can deliver. So,
We'll get some rubber on there.
yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go get some food. Cheers. And the rest of y'all should go hug your family, or go hug your friends,
Or buy more parts.
or buy more parts. Yeah, January's been quite slow. Just saying, not scarily so, but a little bit like everybody's busy with fires and
One of these-
snow and ice.
Is this thing on?
right? Hello, hello. Are we talking to ourselves? Hello. So, anyway,
Have
yeah.
a great weekend, everybody.
Yep.
All right.
See ya.
Peace.
Talk to you soon.